Welcome back to the Morning Blend. Well, after a few months, young teen drivers should start to feel more comfortable with control of the car and the routes to and from home. But when autumn arrives, darkness, of course, settles in a little sooner. Animals come out of nowhere and roads can become slick very fast. Anne Scallon is the founder of Before the Wheel, an online resource to keep your new drivers safe. Great to see you.
Wonderful to see you.
With every season, there are different challenges, I think, for young drivers. You know, you talk about homecoming season or prom season. Now we're talking about fall and some dangers that exist now, and then eventually we'll get to winter. But I think it's important to kind of be thinking seasonally when you have young drivers to kind of help them and talk through things that they might encounter when they're behind the wheel so that they're safe.
Right, and they're like us. They get in their comfort zone. And you have to kind of talk to them about getting out of that comfort zone because everything will change in the next few weeks.
That is for sure. Let's talk about a few of those changes, why you feel it's critical to avoid, for example, texting or even glancing at your phone when you're driving.
Right. People are making the assumption that they have a minute or two or whatever. And as you know, on the road, things change quickly. If an animal does jump out, if somebody does swerve, you do not have enough reaction time. The other thing that's important is, especially here in the Milwaukee area and a lot of the Wisconsin roads, there was a new law passed that you cannot use handheld devices in any work zones.
Okay, so any type of construction zone of any kind, you cannot use your device.
Right, you cannot use any
talking
handheld.
On it. Anything.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. And the way I look at it is practically this entire area is under construction.
Right. I know.
Do not use your handheld device.
It certainly seems like that. Let's talk about wooded areas. And I mean, here I feel like you can be on the freeway and be in a wooded area. The changing environment and animals on the move right now, it's critical to be aware and to know what to do if you suddenly find yourself in this situation.
Exactly. So the animals are on the move because their environment has changed and there's little food, and the deer are going through their mating season.
So they're looking to hook up. So they're But I mean, this is a thing though, and there's certain times of the day that they're doing this. You need to be aware of the fact that they're on the prowl.
Exactly. So they're crossing the roads and everything. So what you want to look for is if a deer comes out in front of you, a tendency might be like to avoid it by going right or left. That is very dangerous because you're most likely going to roll over or hit another car. So you need to lift your foot off the accelerator.
Okay, listen to this. I'm just going to cue everybody because this is exactly what Tiff did a year ago today, and she thinks saved her life. So you see a deer, and your first thing is remain in your lane, slow down.
Exactly.
Right? Take your foot off the gas.
Right, and the remain in your lane is the most important.
Okay.
Because our tendency is to avoid.
Swerve.
So remain in your lane, lift your foot off the accelerator, tap the brakes lightly if you need to slow down a little. And then you're just going to basically kind of drive through the deer.
That's exactly what Tiff said she did. Your instinct is to avoid hitting an animal. But it's kind of the concept of drive through the animal rather than swerving to avoid it, because that's when accidents and those kinds of problems happen. And she said that the deer, she hit it and it kind of went to the side. The next thing is don't get out of your car to check on the animal, right?
That is very important because that's another way that people get hit. Is that they get out of their car, they think they can help the animal, but you really cannot help that animal. You need to put your blinkers on, pull over to the shoulder, and call 911 right away. And you just want to sit still and wait for somebody to come so that they can kind of block off that area so other drivers are not right in that area
and can avoid it. Yeah, really important to put your hazards on, your emergency blinkers too. Just really quick, shorter days affect driving too because it's darker a lot earlier than we're used to.
Right, so we think, oh, it's dark out and there aren't children out. It's going to be, not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday will be the change in the daylight savings time. These kids are still coming home from school or afternoon activities. They're walking, they're biking. So they are out there, and we have to be really vigilant in looking for them and being very careful.
Absolutely. Really good information, Anne. Thank you so much. And this time of year, too, check your tires, get your car ready for winter. Leaves pile up, too. They can hide things like potholes and branches and other things that can pose a problem to drivers. Find out more at this great resource, beforethewheel.com. Anne even shares Tiffany's story about hearing the deer, as well as this advice that we shared with you today. So thank you so much. Always
Thank you.